I say this all the time. Do the numbers and the numbers tell you what to do.
Yes.
So I'll say it again. Do the numbers and the numbers tell you what to do every single time. So anytime we do any projects, any investments, it always comes down to we do the numbers.
That's
And
awesome.
the numbers literally tell us what to do. And it all is all about being profitable. Absolutely. Like you have to understand your job as a business owner and investor, number one, to be profitable, to make money. Because if you don't, you can't actually do what the money is meant for. So if you understand your job literally is to do that. So financial literacy is the unfair advantage. So we're here to give some advantages. First of all, when you understand the purpose of money, earned income is meant to buy assets that provide passive income, and that passive income pays for your lifestyle. Well, for me, doing single family homes just wasn't scalable because if you look at the risk associated with it, so say you have one tenant in one door, if that tenant stops paying, you're out 100% of that money, right? Well, if you look at, okay, well, how could I have 200 doors like that? Oh my goodness. So our investments are buying mobile home parks. Okay. So what that means is we own the land. We do not own the buildings. So because owning the land, essentially it's still considered a pad or a door. Think about it. You have 200 tenants paying. If one of them stops paying, you don't even feel it. It's like a blip on the radar.
You're listening to the Real Estate Runway podcast, powered by Quattro Capital, where we are all about alternative business and investment strategies to help you amplify life and maximize wealth. Here's your host, the recovering engineer turned multifamily investor, Chad Sutton.
Well, hello. Welcome to the Real Estate Runway podcast. I am so incredibly excited for who I have to share with you on our little roundtable today. I have the most incredible soul. I could start crying right now because when you get to meet this incredible soul that I have on the podcast today, your mind is going to be blown. When we talk about women that are doing incredible things, yes, making money is great, building an empire, leaving a legacy, but hold on a second. When you see the caliber of this woman, and you get to hear her track record and all the incredible things that she has done, not just for her family, but to impact the masses, it will get you probably teared up. She is an incredible soul. So listen, we are going to dive right in. But I want to also tell you, this woman here, she has flipped over 500 homes. She has so many things to share, but some of the things that stand out are she has flipped 500 homes with females, which is awesome. She had a $500 million fund. She owns RV parks. She's got her hands on owning dirt and she loves cash flowing properties. And let's just delve right in because today's topic is going to be about compassionate capitalism. And you may be wondering, what in the world is compassionate capitalism? So we're going to start by I'm going to pass the baton over to Catherine and she's going to tell you exactly what it is and get ready for an incredible 15-minute call where you are going to learn some incredible savvy tips, tricks, and really where our heart lies, which is for impacting the masses. So Catherine, it's so good to have you on today. So good to see your face.
With you. You're like one of my favorite people. I could just hug you.
You are too sweet, my girl. Well, thank you for rising to the occasion and jumping on. Why don't you give a quick little 60-second about you in a nutshell, and people will get a taste of the creature that you are that has a heart for people.
60 seconds. Hi. Born and raised Canadian, in and out of more homes than you can possibly count because I was born to a teenage mother. Went to 13 different schools. Didn't learn to read till I was in the 8th grade, but I got straight A's because I learned very quickly. They don't want you to think. They only want you to get the right answer. So I went through life figuring out how to get the right answer. Fast forward, married my husband, who's American, and that's how I came to the U.S. So yes, I have dual citizenship. and love capitalism. Absolutely. Um, why do I love it? Because at 21, I was paying 54% taxes in Canada. That's stupid, right? So really having a say in where our money goes matters, right? And money is like oxygen. The more you have, the easier it is to breathe. And the more you have and the easier you can breathe, the bigger the difference in the world you can make. So here's my stand. My stand is that if you can add commas to your bank account, you must. And you must do it unapologetically. And you must do it as big and massive as you possibly can, so that you can make that huge difference that you're here to make. And I believe every human being really inherently has a calling on their life, a difference that they're here to make. And when we embrace that and fully understand whatever that is for us, whatever that calling is, whatever that difference is that we're here to make, and then unapologetically go make that difference that you're here to make. Maybe it's with money, maybe it's with time, maybe it's with talents, resources, whatever it is, you're here to make that difference. That's why I love this country so much and why capitalism rocks, because it absolutely can fund the compassion piece, which is where we all want to make a difference. So, yes, my whole investing career, all my businesses, everything lead into my own nonprofit and what I'm called here for. So it's a part of my every part of my life is absolutely a piece of the compassionate capitalism piece. So yeah, it's my battle cry for everybody. Add as many commas to make the biggest difference you can make.
That's why we say, let's go big so we can give big. So when I met Catherine, the thing that was so wonderful is there's nothing better than meeting somebody that has a heart for other people to win at the game of life and have impact, right? So let's just dive in real quickly here. Of course, Catherine knows that I've traveled to third world countries, to Nicaragua, to Haiti, to Belize, and it's really about pouring into other people's lives. And what a perfect timing. It's holidays and Thanksgiving and giving back. And so when we started to talk about the things that we've done, which is like bringing water to orphanages and building homes for the single moms living in the trash dump. And then I got to hear Catherine's desire, and what she lives and loves is these foster children, which we may touch here on in just a little bit, because you've got to hear this massive, massive mission that she's on to change lives. So just imagine for a moment, when you have such a desire to sow goodness, and then you meet a sister from another mister that has a desire to change the world in such a beautiful way, you can't help but to your two ideas converging, right? And so when I met her and she started to tell me about some of the things that she was working on, and then furthermore, that she had a flipping females group to help women up level, you can only imagine how excited I was. And so with that being said, Catherine, I just want to ask you, can you just share the journey in real estate investing with your working with flipping females and the principles of compassionate capitalism and how that really like impacts communities? Like shed some light on that for our listeners here.
I love it. So, it all comes down to your why. And that's what I invite all the listeners to lean into, to listen to this from what is your why? Why do you want to add commas? Like, really, what is the difference that you're here to make? My journey was when my late husband and I got married. He had a dream, and we came to the US and took his dream and turned it into a multi-million-dollar company, and later eventually sold it. And throughout that time period, I was also investing in real estate as well. And because I knew the average millionaire has 7 streams of passive income, right? And so the question always was, okay, well, how many streams of income do I have and how many do I want? Of course, as many as possible. And so started on my real estate investing journey by joining local real estate groups, getting real estate mentors, all of that, and did the buy and hold, discovered I didn't like tenants and toilets. And this is the piece that I want everybody to give themselves permission to do, is try lots of different things and learn from each investment opportunity that they, cycle through, right? Because the faster we learn, the better questions we can ask, the better decisions we can make. and the bigger the opportunities that get to come our way, which there's some pretty extraordinary opportunities in the horizon. And so going through that journey of having the buy and holds, having our company, discovered that we couldn't have children. And we ended up adopting our twins out of the foster care system. We learned about the Foster Adopt program, and that's children that are in foster care, that the parental rights have been severed, so they become adoptable. And so Sarah and Jordan, they were 4 months old when we got them. They're now 19. And, Jordan's serving as a Marine over in Japan, and my daughter is still here going through her journey and creating her life. So fast forward, super happy to be a stay-at-home mom. The kids were in first, second grade, it was kindergarten and going into first grade. And my husband got really, really sick, which forced me to actually have to go back to work. So I went and was working with other companies and brought my genius to the table, built in systems and structures, helped grow those companies. And so the same time, what I was realizing was here I was making these other companies very, very wealthy. And why wasn't I doing it for myself? So fast forward, continued on my journey of real estate investing, ended up starting my own hedge fund. And because why not? And it came through the journey of, I did wholesaling and discovered that it was fast money, but it wasn't consistent money. Ended up I love teaching and I love partnering with people, especially women, to teach them and create passive streams of income, teach them real estate investing. That's what my company Titan Impact Group does. And through that journey, just getting really clear, like I got clear during that time what my why was. And my why is that we leave every person, property, and community better than we found them. And so that was a whole part of running the whole Flipping Females. And so when we were running that, we were partnering with women and going through that whole journey of flipping properties and stuff. It was fun. And, because all women love the before and after, and we'd have these big old Flipping Females parties with feather boas when the properties were done. I mean, it was a ton of fun. And we were talking to HGTV about doing a show. And then in 2018, my husband died unexpectedly. I was not prepared for that.
Right.
But I had created 13 streams of passive income for our family when that had happened.
Hold on. Way to surpass the 7. Why not go for 13? This is what I'm talking about. She doesn't just do mediocre. Catherine goes for higher. She's all about growth and climbing the ladder and hitting the next level. So way to go with your 13. And I'm sorry about
average millionaire. I'm not average.
No mediocrity on this call. You are too much. Totally with you.
So because I created those 13 streams of passive income, that allowed my kids and I to breathe in really our darkest hour. Right. And so I got really clear during that next year of what really mattered to me. And I ended up shutting down most of those streams of income and just really focusing on what mattered to me. And so for me, it got clear, like my company, Titan Impact Group, we are the sentinels of the American dream. And we leave every person, property, and community better than we found them. So the American dream, what is that? That's being, successful business owners or successful investors creating multiple streams of passive income, right? Inside of creating those streams of income, again, money is like oxygen. The more you have, the easier it is to breathe. And the more you have, the easier you can breathe, the bigger the difference in the world you can make. We're here to make that difference. So that's exactly what we do with all our investors. I still continue to do that today, which is a lot of fun. And inside of all the different types of investments, I got really clear on a couple of things, is that if you understand in any real estate investing transaction, that there's multiple roles you can play. You can be the buyer, the seller, the contractor, subcontractor, title company, realtor, bank. I mean, it just goes on and on, all the roles that are in any real estate transaction. And when you look at which role is the most secure, which position, right? The answer is the bank. Because if anything happens to the property, the bank always gets it. So I was like, well, how do you beat the bank, right? And that's what I went to work doing was, okay, I want to be the bank. And I love being the bank because I like it to be the most secure. It's probably the most boring piece of investing because people pay their mortgages and just keep paying their mortgages. I have nothing to do with the property. None of the maintenance is up to me, but people want to keep their homes and live there. So, they just keep paying their mortgage. That's being the bank. And that's what I do with my investors. And then the other one is renting dirt. And what does that mean? So inside of understanding all the different pieces of real estate investing, when I did buy and hold, right? It's one door at a time. Okay. Or like it just wasn't scalable. And so if you think about it, if you look at, okay, so when you ask better questions, how can I scale this? Well, for me, doing single family homes just wasn't scalable because if you look at the risk associated with it, so say you have one tenant in one door, if that tenant stops paying, you're out 100% of that money, right? Well,
Right.
if you look at, okay, well, how could I have 200 doors like that? Oh my goodness. So our investments are buying mobile home parks. Okay.
Right.
So what that means is we own the land. We do not own the buildings. So because owning the land, essentially it's still considered a pad or a door. Think about it. You have 200 tenants paying. If one of them stops paying, you don't even feel it. It's like a
Right.
blip on the radar.
It's
So
like
by bringing
scaling though, Catherine. Like do you want to go slow or do you want to go fast?
right,
Right. So there's ways to be, do you want to work smarter
you
or
bring
do you want to
stability.
work harder? Right. And
Yes.
so it's about leverage and it's about climbing that ladder fast versus taking the slow route. So that's what both Catherine and I do with both of our firms is we help others level up and be able to create passive income streams that
Right.
safer.
Which
Yes.
is one of our favorite books. So if you haven't read this, read it. It's Who, Not How, right? So if you think about it, like Erin, our favorite thing, OPM, other people's money. OPT, other people's time, talents, and team.
Yes.
OPA, other people's assets, right? There are ways to partner with you and I that people can literally add these streams of income to their portfolio. They
Okay,
don't
let's pause for a sec on this. Let's pause for a second. Do you guys see what I'm talking about? With Catherine, she thinks outside the box, and there's nothing more powerful than being linked up with other individuals that think differently. We don't want to be where we're following the sheeple every single day. I would say that between Catherine and myself, we're incredibly resourceful, we're visionaries, we create, and we're incredibly strategic. And so you've got to be willing to put on the hat. She just told you most people know about OPM, other people's money. It is so much bigger than just other people's money. So we're going to go through that one more time because we want you to think differently. We want you to be creators, right? And so she said OPM, other people's money. She said OPT, which is other people's time, talents, and what was the other one? Time, talents, and
team.
what? And teams, duh. And then other, what's the other one? OPC, other people's credit. Believe it or not, if you can link up with somebody else that has incredible credit and a track record, you can piggyback and use OPC.
And
right?
OPA,
OPC. Go ahead.
other people's assets.
Do you understand what we're saying? Like, forget following the sheeple. Think outside the box, and there's so much more you can do together. When you pick up that book that Catherine just shared with us, it is one of my favorite books.
Mine too.
It's called Who Not How. And let me just give you the quick little premise, and then Catherine can stack on it. Imagine if you have a goal to get something done that you highly desire. Every portion of that goal to get there requires you to do something. And maybe some of those little something steps, you are not someone that excels at every single one of those to-dos that's going to get you to that outcome. But you know the right people that you need to put in the place that are going to help you get to your end goal quicker in the most efficient and effective way possible. So just imagine for a second, you have a goal and now you're putting the who's in the place that know how to get you there. And so that's what the premise of that book is about. So that is why Catherine and myself have been able to have multiple streams of income because we mastered that book. and that talent of putting who's in the place that are going to help us get to that end goal. So I don't want to squirrel on you, but you need to check out that book because I'm telling you, it is the biggest game changer. And that is what has made it possible for both Catherine and myself to stay in our lane where we most efficiently flow, where we're really, really good. And where we're really, really weak, what do? We hire, we bring other people onto our team that are going to help us get to the end game, right?
Amen.
Anything else you want to say? Preach it, sister. Yes. Okay. So listen, any thoughts that you want to add on what we just discussed on the who, not how, before I ask you another thought-provoking question, sister?
No, just read the book and do it. Implement it like now. Like whatever you're doing, stop doing whatever you're doing now. Go get this book now. Get it on audio. Listen to it on speed 1.5, 2 times. I don't care. Go get it now. This changed the course of your life and my life forever. We're telling you. If one person says it, you can ignore it. But if 2 or more people are saying the same thing, you need to do it. Like, yeah.
And listen, excuses are just well-planned lies. So don't say you don't have the time, because now I'm going to go on to another tangent. There's something called net time. No extra time needed. So let me tell you a secret. My butt gets up at 5 a.m. What do I do while I'm working? No, hold on. What do most people do when they're working out? They've got their headphones in and they're listening to music. What if you could kill 2 birds with 1 stone? This is my middle name. What happens is you go to the gym and you start to work out, you turn on your Audible and you listen to who, not how, and you put it at 1.5 or 1.7 speed. And now you're double dipping because you are getting your workout completed, getting your body stronger, your mind in tune and on point, and you're feeding the fuel with goodness that's going to help you launch to the next level. So many of you are like, how in the world do you launch to the next level? We're giving you the tips, tricks, and trade secrets right here on this call. And then I'll tell you, with that no extra time needed, how many times are you a week driving your kids to school? Yes, you can be present with them while you're driving there, or you can sow some goodness into them and let them listen. But listen, you got to get back home. So when you get back home, there's another time that you can turn that on. And then I will tell you, how many times a week are you preparing dinner for your family or cleaning house? Well, there you go. Plug it back into your ear. That is net time. Use your net time wisely if you want to up level. That's how us 2 chicks do it. So what about you?
I love it.
Okay, so now I got another one. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on a tangent, but man, that was good.
Awesome.
Okay, Catherine, here we have it. So as a leader in both business and in philanthropy, because you're amazing at it, how do you balance the profitability when it comes to social responsibility? What would you say there?
So my team will tell you, I say this all the time, do the numbers and the numbers tell you what to do.
Yes.
So I'll say it again, do the numbers and the numbers tell you what to do every single time. So anytime we do any projects, any investments, it always comes down to, we do the numbers.
That's
and
awesome.
The numbers literally tell us what to do. And it all is all about being profitable. Absolutely. Like, you have to understand your job as a business owner and investor, number one, to be profitable, to make money. Because if you don't, you can't actually do what the money is meant for. So if you understand, your job literally is to do that. So financial literacy is the unfair advantage. So we're here to give some advantages. First of all, when you understand the purpose of money, earned income is meant to buy assets that provide passive income, and that passive income pays for your lifestyle. So I'll say it again. Your job is to add as many commas as you can, because earned income is meant to buy assets that provide passive income, and the passive income is what pays for your lifestyle. So if you're using earned income to pay for your lifestyle, you are missing the most important step. So there needs to be some shifting going on here, which is why we listen to so many audiobooks. Because when you shift this, you shift your perspective and your whole world shifts, and all of a sudden opportunities are everywhere. You have to change your brain to see the opportunities.
Okay, so listen, this is a great example, okay? I'll tell you, we're going to go into some personal right now. So check this out. I'm not a car person. I could give a rip about the car I drive. As a matter of fact, until just recently. I drove a 2011 Chevy Suburban. It fits all my 5 kids, and I don't really care. I'm not a flashy person, right? Well, my kids go, Mom, you work so hard and you do so well. Why don't you just treat yourself? And I was like, well, what does that mean? They're like, why don't you get yourself a Tesla? And so I was like, a Tesla? They're like, yeah, get the top notch, the Model X. Like, it's so cool. The doors come up, and Mom, you totally deserve this. And I'm like, I'm not really, I don't really care. Right. And my kids are like banding together, like, Mom, you got to get it together. Right. So they're like, come on, Mom, like, we'll order you a Tesla. So my kids literally went on the app, and I kind of gave them a thumbs up and the Tesla. Right. So listen, here is how I think as an entrepreneur. I could not wrap my head around buying the Tesla because I knew it'd be, if I took a loan on it, it'd be like a $1,500 payment. Well, check this out. I started to think, you know what, kids, maybe you're right. Maybe I do deserve something. Maybe it'd be fun to actually put it into work, but to be able to use this as an example. So guess what? I said yes to the Tesla, and I actually have a $1,400 payment that comes in every single month for one of my investments. And I thought, perfect. Just exactly what Catherine talked about. You use your passive income to pay for your lifestyle. And so that $1,400 that comes in goes to pay for my Tesla that I now drive. And then how phenomenal is it, as an example, to share with my kids around the dinner table about the justification and the why I said, you know what? I'm going to use my passive income, and I'm going to show you how it offsets. And so it was a conversation that now I got to have with my children, that now they know, in order to be able to have that lifestyle and have that fun, flashy car, you best have a passive income stream that's going to foot that bill to make sense of it. I hope y'all are catching what I'm throwing down right now, because truly that should be a mic drop between what Miss Catherine said with what Miss Catherine said, and mine was the perfect example of just that. And if you do it right and get it tight, and you hone in, and not think that you've got to have the latest, greatest, hippest, hottest. I've been at this for a long time, and I didn't just start splurging right away. I got myself set up in such a beautiful way to create all these different streams of income. And so lastly, I'll say is, my kids all know every single time they'll say, Mom, could you buy me this? Could you buy me that? And you know what my response is? I said, no, it's not wise, and it's not going to duplicate money. And their response is, why? Because we got to invest in some more real estate. And I'm like, yeah, because it's going to fall in your hands, friend. So they are watching everything that we do, and we want to build.
Not what's taught.
Exactly. Did y'all hear that? It's not what's caught.
No,
it's not what's taught. It's what's caught. You heard exactly what she said. So we have to be beacons of light and show our children by example what it is and why we're doing it. Okay, so what would you say to emerging entrepreneurs, Catherine, how to adopt this compassionate capitalism? What would be your tip?
I love this question. So I believe that there's a common thread that happens in all of our lives that really predetermines what our calling is. So for me, right, going through more homes than I could count as a child, having a horrible childhood, and then, going on, getting married, only to discover we couldn't have children, and learning about like the foster adopt and adopting my twins out of the foster care system, that became my common thread of where my heart was, right? Like literally going through it on both sides myself. And so I formed a nonprofit, and my nonprofit focuses on that there's over 500,000 children in the U.S. foster care system, and 350,000 of them is available for adoption today for less than $1,000. And so when I focused in on that, I was like, because here's the other thing that I'm really clear about is that when people people ask themselves a lot, when is somebody going to do something about that? If you keep hearing yourself over and over again, asking that question, when is somebody going to do something about that? That is your calling. So for me, my calling, I kept like, when is somebody going to do about like the children in the foster care system? And it was like, hold on, nobody is asking the question but me. Oh my gosh, it's up to me. What the heck? I'm the one. So then it was like, okay, so when we ask better questions, we get better answers. So then it was like, well, what can I do about it? what is being done, what isn't being done. And it's all about education and educating people on these children. So what came to me through asking better and better questions is that there's more than 350,000 congregations in this country. So if each church takes on finding one family to adopt one child, we can literally get this done in our lifetime. But what if, more importantly than that, like what if 1% of those 350,000 children was just like me and got inspired by having a family and being loved, that they decide to go make a difference in the world? That'd be 3,500 children. But here's the bigger thing people need to understand is that these children, if they don't get adopted by the time they're 18 years old, they experience Black Trash Bag Day. That means on their 18th birthday, they are handed a black trash bag and told to put all their belongings in it, and they're out. They're homeless, drugs, prostitution, trafficked, and incarcerated. 80% of the people who were homeless came somewhere from the foster care system. Trafficking is an all-time high epidemic. All of this can actually be stopped by literally giving children and teenagers. Yes, I was 16. I was so extremely grateful to have a family. It changed the course of my life forever. And I promise you, it changed my family forever. I'm still the favorite child.
Do you guys see what I'm saying? You can feel it. You can hear her heart's desire. It's about impact and helping change lives. And so one thing I'll promise you before we end this is figure out your why and make that why make you want to cry, that it's that powerful, that you are on a mission to go impact the world. And I promise you, if you turn your heart to philanthropy and wanting to sow goodness into the world, you will be so incredibly, uberly blessed. You will have doors that would open that you never thought possible, because when you have the right heart, it's like this, right, Catherine?
There's another brilliant book that led me to it's called Starting with Why. It's an actual book, Starting with Why, and you go through and do the exercise. And I remember where I was sitting. I remember everything about that moment, that it just came flooding in as to what my why was. And all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh. So yes, read more books.
Yes. Well, listen, real quick, last thing, Catherine, where can our listeners find you if they want to connect?
TitanImpactGroup.com. All of our social media stuff is there.
And don't waste your time. This woman is a badass. And come with questions and how you want to impact lives. Share it with her. Her heart will melt. That's what she's all for. And now you know why I connect with amazing women like Catherine Bell. Listen, y'all have a great day, and we'll talk soon. Take care. Catherine, thanks for coming.
Thank you, honey.
We hope this episode was insightful and brought value to your day. If so, please be awesome and leave us a 5-star review. Find out how Team Quattro can help you at thequattroway.com. Until next time, this is the Real Estate Runway podcast.